Have you ever heard of a learning model so effective that you can boil it all down to just 3 simple numbers? Well, today we're going to dive into exactly that, the 285 framework of the Farmer Field School in Malawi. It's an amazing approach that's completely changing agricultural education from the ground up. It really all starts with this one central question. How do you stop just treating farmers like students who need to be told what to do, and instead, how do you empower them to become the scientists and the experts of their own fields?
One really powerful answer is the Farmer Field School, or FFS for short. And look, this is so much more than your typical training session. It's a dynamic platform. Think of it like a bridge that creates this vital connection, linking the real-world, on-the-ground experience of farmers with formal agricultural research and all the services designed to help them.
Now I know what you're thinking. This might sound a little complex, but what's absolutely brilliant about the Malawian model is that the whole thing is built on a simple rule that's super easy to remember. It's a framework that makes sure everything is consistent and top quality.
It all begins with the number 2. This stands for 2 fundamental principles that are, the philosophical heart, the very soul of the entire approach.
And that foundation supports the number 8. Now these are a big deal. They are 8 non-negotiable rules. You can think of them as the structural pillars that hold the whole thing together and make sure the process is standardized.
And finally, it all comes to life with the number 5. These are the 5 core activities that put all that philosophy and all those rules into actual practice. So you've got the 2, the 8, and the 5. Let's break down what each of these really means.
Okay, first up, the foundation. Let's take a look at those 2 core ideas that drive everything else. This is really the why behind the entire FFS method.
So the 2 principles are actually pretty simple, but they're profound. Experiential learning and learning by doing. Honestly, they're like 2 sides of the same coin. The big idea here is that knowledge isn't just passively handed over from an instructor. Nope, it's actively discovered by the farmers themselves through direct, hands-on action and observation. So, with that philosophy as our foundation, how does it actually get put into practice? Well, that brings us to those 8 non-negotiable rules. These are the essential building blocks that make sure every single program is a true farmer field school.
The first 4 rules are all about empowerment. Number 1, the farmers themselves decide what they're going to study, which right away guarantees it's relevant to them. 2, the learning happens in the field, not some stuffy classroom. 3, they study in small groups, which makes sure everyone gets to participate and learn from each other. And 4, and this is really cool, the learning follows the natural growth cycle of the crop or animal. There's a fancy word for it, phenology. It just means you learn exactly what you need to know precisely when you need to know it.
All right, the next 4 rules really fine-tune the process. Farmers learn the basic science behind what they're seeing, so they don't just know what works, but why it works. The facilitator's job isn't to be a lecturer, it's to be a guide, helping farmers find their own answers. This whole thing is designed to build stronger, more collaborative teams. And finally, there has to be a commercial plot, a real-world setup where the learning has tangible economic results.
Okay, so we've got the philosophy and we've got the rules, but the crucial question is, what does this actually look like when it's happening? Well, these 5 core activities are what truly make the FFS stand out from any other agricultural extension method out there.
These 5 activities are basically the engine of the FFS. You have to have a study plot so you can compare what works and what doesn't. Farmers regularly conduct something called ASA and practice IPM. And don't worry, we're going to break down those terms in just a second. The curriculum, as we said, is tied to that season-long calendar, and everyone tracks progress together. It's a complete cycle.
This right here gets to the absolute heart of farmer empowerment. ASEA, or Agro-Ecosystem Analysis, is the core practice of observing the entire system, the plant, the soil, the pest, the weather, all of it. Farmers collect and analyze this data themselves to make their own informed decisions. Basically, it trains them to be scientists in their own fields.
And this is the practical result of doing good IPM. IPM means getting away from a reactive, just spray chemicals kind of approach. Instead, farmers learn to use a whole toolbox of smart, sustainable tactics to manage pests. It protects their profits, their health, and the environment all at the same time.
So let's kind of put it all together. Why does packaging this entire model into a simple 285 framework actually matter so much? What's the big deal?
It really boils down to this. The 285 framework provides grounding principles. It's like a quality guarantee.
It ensures that no matter the specific situation or how it's adapted, every single participant is guaranteed a high-quality, impactful experience that stays true to the core philosophy of the Farmer Field School. It's basically a quality control mechanism for empowerment.
So, what's the ultimate takeaway? At the end of the day, this 285 structure isn't just some boring manual. It's a recipe. And it's a proven recipe for creating empowered, expert farmers who drive their own success because they have truly learned by doing.
You know, it really makes you think about this beyond just agriculture. This model, this combination of foundational principles, clear rules, and hands-on practice, it's incredibly powerful. How could a similar learning by doing framework totally transform other fields, like business or education, or even tech? That's a pretty powerful idea to think about.